28.
And I'm not gonna push beyond 30 on the streets because that was the point where Mike got thrown off. So I will test that in the forest, but not on the concrete. Right, pretty excited today because I'm gonna do something that I've been holding off for a really long time. And I want you guys to join me on this little adventure. It's quite windy today, but it's gonna be a good day. I'll promise you. So follow along to see what I got in store. I'm a little bit nervous. I've been holding this off for so long that this even gets me nervous. And I'm not gonna keep the tension longer. We're just gonna go for it. Fuck it. So for now, I've always been very reluctant to buy other one wheel because I have two Future Motion one wheels that work perfectly and that I'm having loads of fun with. I'm really liking the Future Motion settings. They really dialed in that stuff really well. The tech side on Future Motion is primo. I just wish their service was also like that, and especially here in Europe. If you have a brick board, a broken board, you always have to take it back to the States, which is very costly to send it there. Some companies don't want to send it because of the batteries. We also have to pay import taxes because of Mr. Trump. So that, all in all, is just, it's not possible for us to send a one wheel for repairs to the States. Not for me anyway. So that's why I decided today to reach a new milestone, and I'm gonna buy a VESC. You heard that right? Vinie is going VESC. I have my machine in the back. Now I'm going home to check out some settings, and then hopefully, if it stays dry because it's dark as fuck out there, then we can go for a little test ride. The board should be on Nico's race settings, so I'm really curious what all these different settings are gonna give me and which ones I'm gonna like the best. So for now, back to the hometown and dive into the VESC stuff. Hey yo, let's go! So, and now comes the fun part about VESC. I just put the machine on, I connected it to the float control from Surfdado, and I immediately get these kind of alerts. The first one, whoop, let's see if you guys can read it. The first one says the ERPM limits in the motor configuration are low. Hitting this limit will cause a nosedive. And that's actually what the guy had. He told me the setting was removed, but apparently the notification still says that there's a risk of a nosedive and I need to tweak that ERPM. And then there's also the risk of sensor cutoff voltage, the risky sensor cutoff voltage, because this is now set to 3.0 volts, and that could occur, or that could result into a cutoff, something that we really would not want to have. So now I don't really know if this is typical to the Nico settings, because I know some guys are tweaking these settings to the maximum and to the limit to push everything out of it, and it's a racing setting from Nico. So it could very well be that Nico has been pushing the limits and this is causing the configuration alerts. I really wanted to start with the Surfdado app because it's apparently very good to start fiddling around with the basic settings, because it has some like sliders in there that you can just fiddle with, and some numbers automatically are changing while sliding. So I first want to figure out this app before getting on the board, because I don't really feel like getting thrown off. Not yet. On the acceleration, everything seems well, but when driving slow, it sometimes takes a dive. So I guess it has something to do with the settings. This is what I sometimes have when driving slow. And I do have it with other VESC machines as well. The sensors don't like me, but with the Future Motion sensor, I never had this issue. So it will probably be the settings. The sensor feels good. Again, VESC connection lost. and suddenly it powers on again. So that could be a Bluetooth thing, I don't know. As long as it doesn't affect the ride, it's okay. I don't want to have, you don't want to have these things while on a speed. And slow, you just step out. That's something I could not do with my FM board. I really like the turning. I have the same tire, but it makes such a big difference on this VESC. Ooh, I like that. Definitely have more torque than on the FM machine. I can really feel the difference right away. It's stock battery, but it just pushes a lot more than what the stock machine provides, which is really cool. So having that having that CBXR in there is even going to be better. I like it already. There's just the settings that I need to tweak to get the nosedive out there, because I don't want to be thrown off at 30 kilometers an hour. That's something that I'll need to figure out. And also something that I noticed in the app, that the battery percentage is going up and down really quick. When you ask a lot from the machine, it just goes down and then it goes up again. Don't know if that is normal, but I do see it on the screen here. Strange. All right, let's take you along just here in the garden to start out with. Good reaction time, good braking, good acceleration, nice tweaking. I already start to love the setting. Good job, Nico. Right, while riding on a decent speed, I don't seem to have these nose dips, and it really feels like a very good setting for racing. So I don't know if I now need to change those settings or not. I will need to check in with the community. Luckily there's a good support there, but this community is awesome and always so helpful. So let's dive into the information and see what we can find on the settings. See you in a jiffy, because I really want to ride this some more.
6.5 hours later.
Before the sun goes down, I'm quickly heading to the forest. It's not that far. I'm gonna try this one wheel with the current setup that I have and see what it does and how it feels. I immediately noticed that I'm getting duty cycle notifications and speed notifications, which is very enjoyable, because now I actually know how hard I'm pushing and how fast I'm going, which was never possible on the FM boards. I really like that. It at least gives you an indication on safety. Still some rainy clouds over there. Hopefully we can stay dry. Looks okay. It's just been so wet and windy all the time here in Belgium. Don't know what... Oh, check. I'll take the app with me and go a bit faster so you can hear what it's saying.
Duty cycle 81%. 27. 28.
And I'm not gonna push beyond 30 on the streets, because that was the point where Mike got thrown off. So I will test that in the forest, but not on the concrete. I'm not even a kilometer out from my house and the battery is already showing 80 or 70%. And I have like a stock battery in here. I have a stock battery in here, and I don't know how far I will get. Hopefully I can manage to get to the forest, do a little cruise and get back home, because it's going down fast and I'm not even pushing. Must be that the VESC is asking a lot more from that battery. Let's see how far we get. still a lot of mud and wet. It's raining a lot, so I hope it's rideable. Let's see. Let's have a cruise. So having that stock battery in here definitely is a bit frightening for the VESC, because you want to push, and I now already hear duty cycle 96, and I know like that's already very close to the limits of this board, and I'm not even pushing that hard. So for racing, this is definitely not the VESC you're looking for with the stock battery. It is fun to play with. You get a lot of more torque and a bit more responsiveness. Could also be the Nico tune, but I really like it. Don't know what that is or that means. I've heard that sound a couple of times, but yeah, it's overall a very cool experience. It's very reactful, very playful. I can make very short turns. It's definitely different than on the stock machine on the XR that I've been riding, which is really a nice change from what I've been used to. Because I've been riding, whoa, check it out, it's spitting on this stuff. So it's a very enjoyable change from the XR feeling, definitely if you want to push a little bit harder. Although I think for racing I'll definitely want to go for a bigger battery, because I'm pushing hard lately with the boys. They just motivate me so hard, and I can't just let it go. I have to go fast sometimes. That was a good one to start out with. I want to do that again. The bunkers still feel a bit odd on this board, so the best way to tackle that is to throw them out. I also notice, and I noticed that in every VESC, is there's like a beep, a very high-pitched, squeaky sound, and as a highly sensitive person, it really bothers me a little bit, because I noticed it while riding around all those VESCs, and now I have it under my feet, which is something that I don't particularly bunkers like, because it easily tends to get me out of my focus, and when riding the one wheel you really need that focus. So I hope that will not be an issue, otherwise I'll just be taking headphones to counter that. And what's that sound? What am I doing wrong? Is the connection lost? I had that a few times, the Bluetooth. Maybe it's that, I don't know. If you know it, let me know in the comments. But I'm enjoying this. Whoop whoop. Stuck in there. Don't want any max episodes like this float wheel. Alright. Oh, the rocks are gone. Whoa. Better not go too fast here, but I knew it was gonna be like that. And still I skipped the fender. Stay on the side, it looks like the safest spot way. I know So another cool line, and I hope it's not that wet as here. You can definitely see the rain has done the job. Oh no. Okay, seems to be a way, hopefully. Okay, so the ride is gonna be baptized from the first forest. I'm gonna have some cleaning to do. Right, found me the lane. Let's see, this is normally a very fun one that you can do on high speeds. Let's see what the VESC does here. My phone was just shouting duty cycles 97 at 30 kilometers an hour. So to all you VESC people out there, is that normal behavior on the stock battery? I don't have the additional voltage, but I feel like, yeah, 97 is really high, because on my stock XR, my FM machine, I can easily ride like 35 while still be cruising, and I didn't know I was so close to the duty cycle. So maybe that's different from future motion, or this is just a limitation of this battery combination with the little fucker. I really don't know, but I don't want to push it any harder than 30 because it's already telling me duty cycle 97. Maybe there's a setting that I'm overlooking that can push a little bit further, because I was expecting like to get more out of the VESC than out of my future motion. And currently I don't want to push harder than 30 because, yeah, duty cycle 97 says it all. If I push beyond that, the nose is gonna go down. Looking for some advice, peeps? Hit me up in the comments, let me know what's going on, because I'm eager to learn this shit. I want to know. I really want to know, because I want to fine-tune this boy so that I can really fly up bonkers. That's the intention, setting this up as a trail beast to go racing. Still a little bit of cruising. Oh yeah, let's see what the battery is at, because it immediately dropped to 80 or 70 and it's still on 70. It stays pretty solid on 70. Haven't felt any nose dips currently, but I'm not riding that long. I haven't been riding for a lot of kilometers. Yeah, let's see. Let's push through and see if we have the same behavior as with the future motion, if the battery starts draining, if we start having some dips. Let's check that. I did not try is how does this change direction, like with Vinie. Oh. Side. Oh. Easy. One side. Still need to adjust a little bit because it's still different from the future motion mission setting that I'm normally riding, and I really ride it a lot. I'm very used to it. My muscle memory is still like locked into the mission setting, which I really feel. Sometimes my body behaves differently than before, and I gotta get used to that. There will be mud, as you can see. Oh, I really hope for spring to kick in soon, because I'm getting sick and tired of riding in the mud with all these limitations. I would love to fly through the forest again, but that's not the case now. You really have to be awake, although the leaves already are gone, which makes the mud visible. Last time it was all leafy and you couldn't even see the mud. You're in for a bigger surprise then. I still don't know what that sound is. Oh! Overall first impressions, I really like this machine, although it scares me a little bit, because I've really seen a lot of people going down on their first rides. Take Jaffa, He's a big guy who really invested in VESC because he wanted to push more, and I've noticed like with FM boards he was always running out his nosedives. I've never seen him hit the ground really bad or something, but since he got the VESC and the float wheel, I've seen him go down so many times. He really didn't have it under control at the beginning, so that's why these boards worry me a little bit. Also, yeah, with all the settings and stuff, I've been writing presets all the time, so now I will have to start fiddling with that. Although I really like this as a trail setting, and this came just stock on the machine. It's the Nico Racing tune, and you know, these guys really put some time into this because this really feels nice. I just worry about some settings that I need to get my head or wrap my head around, but once we'll have that figured out, this will be very enjoyable. If you want to push the guys who are riding 50-55 on the one wheel, we'll definitely need to have more power than this stock battery. But for now it's really fun to play around with, to get used to it and to figure things out, because if you buy the big battery right at once, could be that you're pushing so hard that there's no limit and that you have a big crash. So I really try to avoid that. I always try to get used to the machine at first, and once I know what it's capable of, then I start pushing it. So for now, perfect setup to figure all this stuff out. So those were the first VESC shenanigans. I didn't have the cutting out sensor as I had when I started out here, so that's a really cool thing. I do think that the duty cycle thing is a bit sketchy, but we'll have to figure that out. But it's a really cool machine, so overall a very good ride, and I'm stoked to have this new machine and to be able to follow the racers again in this competition in the EOL this year. So on that note, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Peace out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bam!